Okay, so we're on to prepping the crankcases now. That head's done. Clean the threads out, make sure there's no ditches or swarf in the threads. Clean the relative holes out, make sure there's no ditches or swarf in the relative holes. Flip it over, do the same on the other side, and then we'll think about assembly. I'm just cleaning the top of these threaded holes out because they have a tendency to get full of silicone. And the last thing you want is silicone getting caught in your threads. And you can scrape till cows come home. But that silicone can tend to be very, very stubborn to get off. So what I did there was just went round it with the brass, these wire brushes, just to remove all the nasty rubbish, like so. And because it's a soft brass brush, obviously it won't damage the aluminium. Next task, we've got all the main bearing caps. We're just going to clean the thread holes out with the tap and die, make sure that they're clear. Make sure obviously you're using the correct pitch tap, correct size tap. In this case it's M8 by 1.25. I'm not going to go into the differences between the taps, but suffice to say this is the correct one for the job. I did buy a brand new tap for this. There's nothing you want less than you tightening the bolts up and they become alright, start again. The last thing you want is when you're tightening the bolts up for the threads to be contaminated and end up tightening the bolt only to find that the bolt isn't tight but the threads have crossed or full of rubbish, or you need to make sure that they're clean. You need to make sure that there's no rubbish in there. Make sure that the tap goes all the way to the bottom of a blind hole, like that. And I know it looks like the tap isn't going in square, but it's a real old tap holder as this, so it can be forgiven for being not the straightest in the book. Right, on we go. We just tap a quick wire brush in between holes. Make sure it's relatively clean. When I've finished, I'll use compressed air to blow all these holes out, and obviously double check them to make sure that they're clear. Make sure that when we tighten the main bearing cap bolts, that every single one goes to its correct torque, to its correct depth. Okay, one last quick job, and that's just to clean the top of that off, simply because that's where the earth strap goes. So we just need to quickly... That hasn't worked, has it? Right, okay, scrap that idea. That was a really crap idea. That was one of my worst. And that is for the engine earth strap. We're about there, aren't we?